Stop, because you're going to want to hear this.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you.
What's up, YouTube? So I have a lot on my mind, and it's late, and I'm at work, so I have really nothing to do right now, so I'm going to kind of just spew a lot off. What motivates you? Now, you could take this for a gym or anything in your life that you hold as a goal, but what motivates you to do the things that you do? So for me, I powerlift. Now, I'm not good at it, or should I say I'm not professional. I'm not the strongest guy in the world, but I powerlift. I've been powerlifting for about 3 years now. So let me kind of run this through to you. We'll run a little story. Sit down, because Papa Hoss is going to tell you a story. 3 years ago, I was 400 pounds, and I decided one day that I was tired of being 400 pounds, so I was going to go into the gym. I walked into the gym, and I was the guy who literally knew nothing about anything. I was scared of free weights because I wasn't strong enough and didn't even know how to count the bar up. I didn't know anything about benching right or deadlifting at all, and well, squat was half-assed, so I stuck to machines. I went online and got free programs, and I bought all the good shit that people tell you needed, vitamins and stacks, and you can't look good without this. And I went to the gym every day. I busted my ass every day, and I lost weight, and I did what I needed to do. But I wasn't really doing much. So, fast forward about 6 months, and a friend of mine, who I've actually had on the channel, and he seen enough confidence in me, and had enough confidence in me, to push me to do my first powerlifting meet. So I performed my first powerlifting meet, and I became a student. And I watched videos, and I watched interviews and documentaries and anything, period, to make me be a better powerlifter. I became a student of the game. I became a sponge, and I was willing to learn anything and everything there was to learn. Methods, trainings, gear, top powerlifters. I wanted to be the best I could possibly be. So I did my first powerlifting meet. I went 6 for 6. I competed in a push and pull. Got all my lifts. I felt good. I felt real good. So I applied for another powerlifting meet. And this time I was going to do a full powerlifting meet. And this time I wanted to become something even better. You see, I had what we call been bitten by the iron bug, and I had become obsessed with powerlifting. I knew that there was no chance for me to be the next Dan Green or the next Ray Williams, or I was never going to be as big as Mark Bell, but I could be known. And I wanted to be just known. I wanted somebody to say that, hey, I know him. I know him. So I took a little idea from Mark Bell and I created a hit list. Now don't go crazy, but I created a hit list of powerlifters, of local powerlifters that I knew, that I looked up to, and I felt that was better than me in some aspect, whether they were a better squatter, a better deadlifter, a better bench, whatever. I wanted to be better than them in some aspect of the way. And I went to work. I busted my ass every day in the gym. I was in the gym 24/7. I was eating right. I was getting ready. I was getting geared for this powerlifting meet. And when I went, I performed at top level. I went 8 out of 9 lifts. I missed only one lift, which was a bench. Now, how I hurt my tricep, which we'll talk about that later. But I did good. And people started knowing my name. People started noticing the hard work I was putting in. But as I said, I had gotten hurt. And this injury shelved me for a while because I wasn't able to bench. And it got me a depression. It got me into depression. I wasn't able to do what I loved. I wasn't able to work out. I wasn't able to bench. And I was having doctors and parents and adults and people who cared about my well-being telling me, Brandon, you need to lay off the lifting. Stop lifting. So I did. I sit at home on the couch and I sulked because I was injured and I could not lift. And, well, if I can't lift, I can't do anything. And I sit and I gained weight and I became lazy and I became fat and weak. And all that hard work I had put in was gone. Then my injury got better. And I was still watching videos. I was still following powerlifting channels and whatever. And I started to hear a common theme that people who are short stature could not deadlift. They're not supposed to be good deadlifters. People who are big should not be good deadlifters. And I said bullshit. Bullshit. Why? Because they say so? Because there's never been one yet? Well, I dedicated myself to get back in the gym, become powerlifting again. Didn't want to do a meet. I didn't want to go and compete yet. I wanted to outperform myself. So I went back to the hit list, started off when I left, and went back to work. And my numbers were coming up, strength was coming up, weight was coming off. I was feeling good. I was looking good. I was seeing my lifts were doing exactly what I wanted them to do. Then one day I'm squatting, and I go down, and my shoulder pops, and I knew it hurt. And I lift the lift, and it just didn't feel right. And I was like, man, something went right. And about a week later, my shoulder just kept popping out of, place 2 or 3 times, and it was like it was just hurting to the point where I just any little pressure at all I put on it, it would trigger it. So I went to a friend of mine who's a doctor. I was like, Doc, off the record, tell me what's going on, what's happening. He tells me, Brandon, you have torn your rotator cuff, and it is not allowing your shoulder to move without popping out. Anytime you put any weight on it, it's going to do it. So, Brandon, you have two options here. You can get a surgery that's about $20,000 and not a guarantee that you're going to be able to move it, or you can just kind of let it heal and do its own thing, and we'll see what happens. But either way, you're going to stop lifting. So like before, I sit at home and I sulked, and I was mad, and I was depressed, and I tried to go back to the gym and do some cardio stuff and go to the the boxing and do some bring my endurance up, but it just wasn't me. That wasn't me. I'm not a guy who was built for a treadmill. I'm a guy who's built to compress my spine and to move heavy loads. So eventually I said, fuck it. I'm going back. And I went back. And yes, there was a couple times where my shoulder hurt me, or there was a couple times that I had to be careful, but I didn't quit. Then one day I'm sitting and I see that my vision's messing up. I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, it's just anytime the light hits it, I go blind. I'm just seeing nothing but white. This ain't good. So I went to the doctor's office again. He tells me that my pupil has basically moved up and I will never be able to see out that eye. I get to thinking, and me and my mom were talking a little bit, and we basically come to the decision that it's just I've put so much pressure and blood to my head that I have basically ruptured my pupil. What motivates you? See, people tell me all the time that they want to get in the gym and they want to get better and they want to better their lives. And Brandon, man, I see you all the time going to the gym, and I see your videos and I watch your channel, and I wish I had time. I wish I had time. Or I get people that ask me, Brandon, why do you do this to yourself? Brandon, you've injured yourself so much. Your body's falling apart. Why do you do this to yourself? My wife, she asks me all the time. She sees me get up with a stiff lower back. She sees me get up and have to pop myself in place. I'm 26 years old. I shouldn't be moving like this, Baby, why do you do this to yourself? Brandon, what's going on? There has to be a better option. I tell them, people, you have time. You don't have the motivation. You have time. So you have time to go to work and come home and watch a TV show and cook supper and talk to your friend on the phone for an hour. So you have time to go out and hang out with your friends and drink and whatever. You have time to go watch a movie at a theater. But you don't have time to go to the gym. See, people don't have time because they lack motivation. People don't have time because they don't do. The gym is not what they want. To the question of why do I do this? Because it's simply, I'm good at it. I believe that what separates somebody from being a power lifter to being a good power lifter and being a champion power lifter is not, it's not totals. Oh, sure, people will tell you that unless you got a 2,000 total, you're not that good. But that's bullshit. So people are genetically gifted. People take steroids. People can get a 2,000 pound total pretty easily nowadays. It's not uncalled for. It's not uncommon. People get that all the time. What people don't do is push themselves. See, people nowadays will get hurt and they'll say, I can't do this no more. No. See, people nowadays will get a little cramp in their back and that's when they call it. I go to the gym and I squat and I bench and I deadlift with a ruptured pupil and a torn rotator cuff. There are days when I deadlift that I can barely bend over because my back is like a board. It's the best way I can explain it. There are days where I literally have to crawl to the kitchen to get myself something to drink because I've fucked my joints up. Now you might be hearing this and saying, "Brand, that's stupid. That's just dumb. That's just asking for an injury." And that's the reason why me and you are not the same. What motivates me is that I want to be strong. See, I went into powerlifting and I went into one thing and I wanted to be known that I was strong. And yes, I am stout, and yes, I can move weight, but in my mind, I am not considered strong. In my mind, I am considered average. People who are considered strong are people that I'm still competing with. See, I've crossed some names out on my hit list because I've outdone them, but there's still some names left on there. Until all the names are crossed out, I am not strong. See, that motivates me. It motivates me to get to the gym every day. That's my day to get to the gym. It motivates me to push away all the personal feelings I have and all the bad shit that's going on in life. It motivates me to get that one extra rep in that wasn't programmed into my program. It motivates me to push a little harder. Now here comes the sad part. I have been powerlifting for 3 years. In 3 years, my numbers have not gone anywhere. Now, Brandon, what does that mean? What is that? Why? Because I haven't wanted it. I haven't wanted it. See, I have sit at home and I've allowed life to take control. And see, sometimes you can't fight life. That's one thing people cannot understand. That's one thing you have to realize. You can't fight life. You can't. So, like I told you at the beginning, we're coming. And this time, we're breaking records. See, this time I'm not stopping at a 300-pound bench. This time I'm not stopping at a 525 dead. I'm not stopping at a 425 squat. I'm coming to finish off my hit list. What motivates you?